All right, good morning, everybody. If you have your Bibles, go ahead and turn to Hebrews chapter 13 this morning. Paul, you're turning there. I'll tell you a joke that I heard this morning. There was a guy who went to, he got called to go to this church, and he said he showed up, and he said they told him, he said, well, we need you to be there at 5 o'clock. So he shows up at 5 o'clock, and there's like 50 cars there, and he's like, oh, this is going to be a really good service. So he goes around to the back, and he goes in there, and he said, well, this was a Pentecostal church. So he goes around in the back, and there's people back there. He said they were already speaking in tongues. And he goes back there, and he's like, woo, praise Jesus. And so he waits for a minute, and the pastor comes back, and he said, well, I understand what you're doing. He said, they're not speaking in tongues. This is a Hispanic service, and that guy just had a heart attack. I thought it was funny. But all right. If you're at Hebrews chapter 13, we're going to read verse 5 there. Let your conversation be without covetousness, and be content with such things as ye have. For he hath said, I will never leave thee nor forsake thee. You know, I kind of had a little bit of a humbling yesterday when we was over at Gary and Kathy's, and we were kind of in between working up deer. I knew that this is kind of where the Lord was leading me to go, but he just kind of threw an extra helping on there and a little bit more humbleness. Don't laugh. And I told Brother Gary this after it was all said and done, but we was sitting there at the table, and we were just kind of warming back up. We was just outside cutting the deer up, and it got really cold, and so we come back inside, and about 20 minutes later, Gary gets called to go to Niagara. Well, and I'm going to say this behind the pulpit, I was jealous of that. It's something that I deal with is godly jealousy. That jealousy that I want to do more stuff for the Lord, but and I shouldn't be jealous because the Lord will work through me when it's His time, not mine. But me and my flesh, I'm ready to go. Lord, use me. Let me talk to somebody about you. But he was standing there talking to I didn't hear who he was talking to, but the people from Niagara, and they asked him to come out there. And I'm just kind of like sitting there, like, Lord, why can't I go? Why can't I do stuff? And he had to kind of hit me over the head. It's not on your time, it's on mine. You'll go when I'm ready for you to go. And I was jealous about it, honestly. But I have that godly jealousy where I want to be where the Lord wants me to be. And oftentimes in our flesh, we don't. I'll tell you right now, it's 100% not about what you want. It's about what He wants. You're going to go when He wants you to go. If you fully trust in the Lord, you'll go when He tells you to go. And like I said, in my flesh, I'm impatient, I'm selfish, I'm hasty to do what I think I need to do, not what He wants me to do. Sometimes what He wants you to do is just hang out for a minute. Don't give me that look. But we had a whole conversation at the kitchen table about this. But I'm so anxious to do stuff for the Lord, and my wife knows with my ADHD problem, I get very impatient, and I want to do it right then. Like, let's go talk to somebody about the Lord. And yeah, you can do that, but getting to go to different churches and show them and let them learn what you learned, maybe it'll change them in some way. That's what I want to do, but it's not my time. It's His time when He's ready for me to go. And oftentimes, like, we get impatient about that, and I'm sure I'm not the only one. Don't mean mug me, but we get impatient as Christians sometimes, and we're ready to I forget the word, but we're getting overzealous or over anxious with it, and we just got to hold on a minute. The Lord will work with you, but it's not your time; it's His time. And Philippians 1:6 says, being confident of this very thing, that he which hath begun a good work in you will perform it until the day of Jesus Christ. So if he started it in you, he's going to finish it in you. Like, he started that good work with you, he's going to make sure it finishes. But you have to stay with him on it. You can't do it by yourself. But I have no doubt that the Lord will provide for me and my family. I don't doubt that one bit. But like I said, in my flesh, I'm impatient, I'm selfish, I'm hasty to do the things that I want to do. But I have to pray that the Lord will provide me with that patience that I need in my flesh, that it's his time, not mine. So Philippians 4:11 says, not that I speak in respect of want, for I have learned in whatsoever state I am, therewith to be content. I need to be content, and this maybe not just me, but we need to be content in what the Lord's give us, where the Lord's got us at right now. Because you could be in a much different spot, and you could be lost and going to hell today. So we need to, and it's difficult in our flesh because, like I said, especially with me, I'm going 90-0 most days. But we got to learn to be content with where the Lord's got us at, and realize it's his time, not ours. So, but that's what I have this morning. Is there a little one that wants to dismiss us? Go for it, bud.